You haven't been back for that long, right? What do you mean? Back from content? No, Prime apparently was just sub for the entire time I was coaching L. So, yeah. Yeah, sub through the break. So, hello, YouTube. Yeah, Prime, the OG. Prime used to do YouTube stuff. I think Prime used to stream a little bit, right? I remember you had some intros or some goofy stuff you used to do. It's really funny. Played Junkrat, and I want to say, was it Hanzo? Or it was something else. You were like the projectile guy. My bad, Queen. I'm sorry. My bad. Sorry. I'm doing okay. Doing okay. I had a little injury, re-injuring of the back thing while lifting today. It's just a chronic injury I have from football that I've had for like 10-ish years, 8-9 years. So, but it wasn't too bad. It always kicks in at the worst time. I'm trying to shrink my YouTube chat here, but other than that, it's been okay. Yeah, that's right. Junkrat and Hanzo. That's right. Your collegiate Overwatch career. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's something I've been basically rehabbing for like 2 years now. It's gotten better. It has gotten better, but yeah. Small team calling all heroes and analyze the gameplay afterwards. Or maybe Daft. There's a lot of ideas of like working with a team and then analyzing it afterwards. I haven't done as much into that, not because I don't find it interesting. I just don't know if I have the time. But it is. I am open to the idea.
Does it make you feel better?
What position did you play? Oh, thank you, man. What position did you play in football? Primarily running back and defense. I shifted around a lot. I played corner. I played safety. I played linebacker. I was kind of too big for corner and I wasn't too big for corner, but I was too physically violent but I was too small to be a linebacker most of the time. I even played defensive tackle a couple of games for parts of games because I was pretty strong, pretty fast. So especially versus like not so good high school teams, it's pretty easy to just use your speed even at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, so basically there's a strain in my lower back. I don't know. I've been unable to get it diagnosed from multiple physical therapists. Nobody really knows exactly what it is. But basically my back will just give at a moment. Perfect form with deadlift, perfect form with squat, perfectly flat, good range of motion, and even with not super heavy weight. But it will give at a range of motion, at any sort of tension. And so obviously that puts a lot of strain on my back. So what happens is it will give, like my muscles will just kick out like I pinched a nerve or something. And so then obviously the weight just goes, and it does not feel good. But I don't know why it gives. Yeah, so I've basically had to work really hard on prehabbing, super high focus on like braced core and so on. I'm sorry to hear you were sick. I don't know. It's like right here on both sides. Right there on both sides. And then it'll be kind of tender for a while. Like today was a very minor one, wasn't as bad, and then it will be fine. Can I react to a song? I don't know. I might get DMCA'd. Low, mid, or upper back, just low back. Follow one thing for the bits. So, I don't know. Wish I could figure it out. But I've kind of, like I said, when in doubt, I generally just prehab through it. Just lift through it, but lift really intelligently and carefully and slowly. And so far, it's been okay. Oh, thank you for the gifted subs, Queen. I appreciate it. It's only 50 seconds. All right, I mean, I'm down. It's not so much... I mean, it's just like I said, the DMCA, that's all I'm really worried about. Wait, no. Get the title here. I'm doing... Hey, Controlla Playa. I have not seen the trailer yet. Maybe we should take a quick look at that. Preparation for the yapping session later. Thank you very much for the gifted subs, Queen. That was very nice of you. Thought the trailer was kind of whack, like bad whack or good whack. Greatest song Brian ever wrote. Sounds awful. It might be sciatica. I don't really know. I honestly, it doesn't really bother me. I don't really have like lower back issues. as a whole, and it's not a form issue as well. I was convinced it wasn't a form issue, so much so that I showed a couple of physical therapists my form, because I actually captured it when I injured it twice on video, and it wasn't a form thing. Because
He's weak.
It's not a flexibility issue, no. All right, season. Let's look at the trailer really fast then. I guess while we're waiting. Communication was bad? All right, well, we will find out then. Steroids might help? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe. All right, let's take a look here. It's loud. Sorry for the volume. Love me some spookins. Oh, sorry, is this a... No, this isn't a Street Fighter thing. What is this? Is this a Street Fighter thing? I'm lost.
Now we play in my world. Selecting upgrades to match new user.
Arcade game? Yeah, it's like weird abilities and stuff, I guess. That was nice.
I think a level up is in order.
So you just get like leveled up and stuff. Love me some synthwave.
Don't touch that. Hey, this is not part of my programming. Class dismissed. Overdrive activated.
So just different games, I guess. Different like mini games seems to be the case, I think. Yeah, it has to be mini game.
You have unlocked the privilege to
That was a nice transition there.
annihilate.
Ooh, okay.
Leaving so
Knife
soon.
sharpening, love that.
Game over.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, wow. I have no idea what the frick is going on. You guys weren't kidding. What does all this mean? I don't understand. It looks cool, but I have no idea what this means at all. Can somebody where's the dev blog? Thank you, Sarah Lee. Like, what does that mean? Hey, Greed, how are you, mate? Okay, let I guess. All right. Stadium will update. Zen, Sig, and Junkrat are coming, along with 2 new to Stadium maps, Esperanza and Samoa. Zen, Sigma, Junkrat. I am... And I've given this feedback already, so I'm cautiously... I don't know, man. The more heroes that get added to Stadium, the messier things are going to get. You know, I don't think it's going to be a major problem because of what Stadium is intended to be. And I think it's also kind of hubris to complain. Not hubris, it's also kind of like, it's not really very productive to complain that much about it either. But it's kind of why I've stayed a little bit away from the game mode. Not because I don't find it fun, just because I'm not really sure. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the complaints about Freya, right? The complaints about Orisa, the complaints about even Juno, right? Like the torpedo builds, like it just. So I don't think the plan is to rotate. I actually suggested that early in feedback in Stadium is like maybe you should rotate things, but I don't know if that's actually a good idea. It was a suggestion. I don't know if it's actually good because obviously it means that you can't play the characters that you want to play, and certain people are going to get mad about that. But you know, yeah, you can kind of see what I'm saying. Exactly, Virashi. Yeah, so we'll see. I think just I'm like Junkrat and so on, and honestly, like I think it's only going to get worse. You know, like you're going to have Widow and so on coming in here at some point. So, but yeah, we'll see. I don't want to be a critical Nancy because I think Stadium has been really, really good and really, really fun. There's just, I think some people are going to be kind of putting expectations on the game mode that I just don't think it can fill right now, you know? Right, I agree, BTX. So I'm just kind of saying I'm waiting for the storm, you know? I don't think... Okay, create Stadium Forge, a create, save, share system to test and refine your team comps like a pro. That's awesome. This is something that we were talking about when I was playing with Aaron and Dylan on Stadium. And yeah, this is awesome. Stadium rank reset, improve their skill. This is, you know, very optimization, engagement-based resets. Sadly, we do know that resets encourage people to play again. So they're going to do that in Stadium. I will continue to criticize them in the base game because I just don't like them in the base game. For a game that's intending to be more competitively driven, I don't like them. But in Stadium, I'm not going to sit here and be like, what? Rank reset in Stadium? The casual, fun, silly, MOBA-esque game mode? What? My competitive integrity. I don't give a frick, dude. Who cares? All-star rewards. Okay. Yeah, it'll be a nightmare for the balance team, but I also think that, like, I don't think they care that much, to be honest. I think they'll, it's not that they're not going to be deaf to feedback, but I also don't think it's going to be as much of an issue, you know? I feel like the thing with Stadium that's preventing it is, like, I actually think most people just don't know how to optimize their gameplay in Stadium, which is why people haven't been complaining as much as they have. Like, I'm convinced. Okay, Sarah Lee, you're a Stadium head, right? And there's some of you guys in the chat are, like, really good at Stadium, right? I am convinced that for like 90% of characters, there's probably like 1 or 2 builds that are so unbelievably OP that if you know how to abuse them, there's like, they just basically just do the one thing and you dominate like every match. Or if the enemy team doesn't know how to do it, you can just completely run everything over. It's completely imbalanced in that regard, right? And so it's like the challenge is finding out what that build is, and finding out what that build is what makes it fun. You kind of get what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not intended for infinite replayability necessarily. It's intended to, they'll mix perks up. You can try a different character. It's a very weak analogy, but I've had a recent experience with Night Rain recently. I don't know if you guys have played the Elden Ring Night Rain. It took me like 50, 60 hours of playing with friends to really optimize our runs, but it probably would have been shorter if we'd been sweating more, but we were swapping a lot of classes. But you could probably put 20, 30 of try-hard hours into Night Rain and pretty much immediately figure out what the optimal run is, no matter what rollout you get. You know what I'm saying? So part of that is a design issue. Like, it shouldn't be that quick for Night Rain to solve the run. They've done a really bad job with the roguelike elements of the game. But also at the same time, figuring out the optimized run was the most fun aspect of the game for me. You get what I'm saying? So I think what will happen, as long as they're cycling new abilities in and out and doing some major balancing things, like not just minor things, but some major shifts, then I think that like the exploration phase just gets extended or reset, and I think that's okay. You know, because Overwatch is an example of a game that's mostly solved, right? Like basically all solved, and yet it still has competitive integrity, and so it has good replayability. Stadium, it probably is going to be a game that's probably constantly fighting not to be solved, if that makes sense. And so therefore, it doesn't have the greatest competitive integrity, but it's not intended to be. I think the problem with Rivals is that it aimed to do that as well, but I think it got solved even for the average player eventually. Will Stadium also get solved like Rivals? I don't know. Because you guys remember with Rivals, right? There was a lot of creativity and flexibility and a lot of people doing and learning new things early on, and that lasted for some time. But as soon as that kind of got solved out, well, things started to kind of slow things down. Will that happen with Stadium as well? I don't know. Okay, map voting. This is cool. After roll queue locks, you'll get 3 randomized map options. Every vote has a 1 in 10 chance of that map's odds, and the winner is selected using a roulette-style roll. So basically what this means is that if 6 people vote for New Queen Street, that doesn't mean that New Queen Street is automatically going to happen. It means that New Queen Street's 60% likely to, but let's say Survasa gets 3, Kings Row gets 1. I love to say map name here, mode name here. That's hilarious. That means that there's a 10% chance that Kings Row wins, even if only 1 person votes for it. I don't think so, Queen. I don't think there's anything relevant enough to... I generally tried it, but yeah, probably not. Yeah, exactly, Sarah. Lots of early this is broken, but then people counter the broken thing with another broken thing. It's like Orisa and Brawl Tank. So like, is Orisa in a vacuum the most strong Brawl Tank? No, but she beats the other broken things, if that makes sense. So, yeah. But yeah, I think map voting is interesting. It's not something that I've desperately asked for and needed for. It'll provide information like anything else about what maps are perceived as bad and what maps probably deserve more reworks, like Heroes, which I'm always a fan of. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll talk with Realth later today about it, I'm sure, because we're going to talk about hero bans with Realth later, because he's not as big of a hero ban fan. So we'll kind of go over the controversies of that. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, they're definitely going to need to add some more maps if they're going to, because I think exactly, you're going to basically maybe sort of kind of remove like 4 or 5 maps from the pool pretty quickly. I think stuff like Circuit, Havana, that's going to go. I think some of the Flashpoint maps and a lot of lower ranks are probably going to go as well, because Flashpoint, it can be a controversial game mode. I like it, but I understand why other people don't, because it really is unfriendly to certain characters. Slower characters really struggle. I think you're going to have certain maps that are perceived as way more toxic. Powder ESO is definitely a controversial map. So we're going to definitely see more of the same, right? So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Sarah Lee. I think part of the fun for Stadium for me, like the most fun I ever had playing Stadium was doing the stupid heal station build. I knew it wasn't optimal. It just was too much fun. And I think it's egotistical of me to say that I think the game mode giving you that option isn't cool, Yeah, low ranks, it is very chaotic, right? I think they talked about reworks to Flashpoint, I think recently, right? Which I think is great. I don't think Suravasa and New Junk City are bad maps by any means. They're certainly not bad modes, but I think the visibility, consistency of navigation, and even the quality of point design has pretty wild fluctuations. New Junk City has some really naked exposed locations, some really nasty chokes. Movement is not communicated very well either. So do you guys remember when we talked with, what was his name? Was it Dylan? Not Dylan. Was it Dylan? The guy who's in charge of the art design. I interviewed him hello, Kitty, in California. It was on Spylo 3. No, not Ryan. He's the map designer, but it was the art. Was it Dion? I think it was Dion. Yes, Dion. Not Dylan, Dion. Yes. And he did a phenomenal job of communicating how colors and lighting communicates pathing. Yes. And you can find it on Spylo 3. And I have a feeling that we're going to see some of that being implemented here. Not just the Ryan Smith special of like shifting around some of the map structure, but also some of the map lighting to encourage good behavior. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the map voting is hidden. Yep. So it'll be interesting to me. I'm open to this. I'm curious. I don't really have a stance on this. I don't like bad maps, but I think that bad maps do provide some variety. I would like for them to be reworked. I know that they are getting reworked. So, okay. Thung Buckle. No, that was before Thung Buckle. Yeah, it is weird that it's on Quick Play. Actually, did you? Oh, yeah, wait a second. Is it on Quick Play? I'm just like, yeah, it's on Quick Play. Wow, that is weird. Huh. Yeah. I could also see this being... Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I wonder if niche characters are going to benefit or suffer from this. So Sarah Lee does a really good job of pointing out that like certain OTPs can benefit from hero bans, because if you favorite Roadhog and then select a ban Ana, Orisa, whatever, your teammates generally will help you out, But there's a situation here where it's like you could just never play Havana as a Widow player. Like it might be gone forever. Like not only was Widow more likely to be banned on Havana, maybe you don't even get to play Havana at all. And I know, I understand. I am, trust me, if anyone hates that crap, it's me, but yeah. Spylo, in your opinion, how heavily does bad sleep affect gameplay? Probably more so than any other health factor. I'd say bad sleep probably affects you more than exercise or diet. Yeah. So, I'm grinning over here because there's a Widow main in the house with me, and I have to be very careful. Yeah. So she might jump on me.
Jump on you or drop on you?
Drop on me, yeah. Yeah, I do think 30 seconds is maybe a little bit long, but I think it's probably... I talked with Gavin about this, and he says they always make the map stuff, the voting aspect, longer on an initial system release, and then they compress it over time. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went to like 20, 15 seconds at some point in the future. Yeah, because people are unfamiliar with it. and then immediately people familiarize themselves for it. So does alcohol make you play better or worse? Almost exclusively worse, but there was a professional player that I knew, I won't out the guy, that oftentimes played better while half drunk, because some of his issues early on in his career were confidence related, and once he had his inhibitions inhibited, he would often be more confident mechanically. People sometimes see the same effect when they're tired and they play. You will occasionally play well mechanically when you're tired for the same reason. It's not a good system, but yeah. Yeah. How does fentanyl affect gameplay? I don't know. Give me like 15 minutes and I'll let you know. Kinky Nugget. As I said, maybe you're feeling less. You could be less groggy. It could be. Maybe you use cocaine. I say caffeine more when you're tired, and that is obviously a huge stimulant for performance. It could also be that when you're more tired, like I said, you're less overthinking things. Okay, so you are starting at 20 seconds. Okay, thank you. Welcome, Gavin. You think Ana nerf in the future or Rein nerf? I don't think either, actually. I would be surprised if we saw either an Ana or a Rein nerf anytime soon. We're being perfectly drunk increases performance. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I am somewhat ignorant on the topic, so I'd be interested to hear whatever if any studies you'd have on it, Poke. We also did something new for map voting hero bands where clicking something auto readies you. Got it. Okay, cool. Okay, well, interesting. I'm open to it, as always. When in doubt, there's no point saying anything negative. Let's just see how it goes. New map. In core, say hello to Atlas, a vibrant new Flashpoint map showing off the beauty and culture of Morocco, from lush gardens to luxury resort spaces. This one is built for tighter fights, cleaner rotations, and fast-paced momentum. Beautiful. Love it. Always can't go wrong with Overwatch map design. I think it's one of their strengths for sure. Stadium, the Streets of Esperanza will return in a round-based format. So we talked about Stadium. Samoa joins the Stadium pool. Okay, cool. Yeah, I tend to overthink a lot. Any tips how to get out of your own head when playing? Is there a set mindset after just get good situation? I really think hyperfixating on what you need to practice is really important. I think that's like the life hack is not to not think necessarily, although that's the end goal when you're performing. But when to practice, it's to know what to put your attention onto, because you can't really control necessarily if you're thinking or if you're not thinking, but you can help practice directing your attention to certain things. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy. Mythic Harang hero skin Aurora Soleil, reflecting her strength and channeling the spirit of Siberian tiger. Across 4 evolving tiers, the skin blends mythical VFX, thematic voice lines, and folklore-rooted customization options that honor the timeless tale of sister, sun, and brother moon. Mythic Harang Diva is fierce, elegant, and fully customizable. The tiger has claws. Wow. Well, I mean, that is nutso. The heck? Some of your favorite ones, the most hated ones? Yeah, trust me, I feel you, mate. That's tough. This is sick, dude. I think the biggest criticism for some of the earlier Mythics has been some of the customization just felt kind of lackluster. And so part of the fun, a lot of the fun for the Mythics was choosing different colors, and this looks great. I was waiting for Diva Mythic because she's a very popular character. I think, anyway. From my understanding, she's a very popular. She has been historically, anyway. And her skin slash mech allows for a lot of customization. So, cheers, Nugget. Yeah, of course. It's just a Discord call. You book it through CoachSpilo.com and you go from there. Yeah, Gavin, could you not look at the vote rate? Could you not track the votes for maps instead? I mean, obviously that in a vacuum isn't enough, but I think over a full randomization, surely that should give you enough insight, right? Cool. Reaper's Mythic Steel Death Weapon Skin. So is it a mythic weapon? I mean, I love the concept. Yeah, it's a mythic weapon. Nice. Okay, you'll be trying them. Okay, I figured. I always say these things, and I'm like, I'm just waiting for confirmation. I know. Okay, bunch of crap in the. So they're actually going pretty in detail about what you're getting in the battle pass here, so that's nice. I think the skins are pretty cool. I mean, I don't. Delinquent Cole Cassidy. I was like, what is Cole Cassidy up to? Yeah. But the Reinhardt skin is crazy. That's actually such a cool Reinhardt skin. This is the battle pass next year.
Oh, next year?
Or next season, sorry.
I was like, next
Look at that. Look at that Ryan skin, man.
Ooh. Junkrat looks... I don't know how I feel about Junkrat.
We finished all the girly skins, so we can have
Moira?
more skins for the beer drinkers. That's a real one. Yeah.
Is that Moira?
No, I think it's Sombra, right?
Oh, never mind.
It's a very Sombra look.
I thought it was the orb. I was like, that's
yeah. 8-bit, Genji. The Ryan is sick, dude.
The Ryan is really cool. He looks like King Candy from Candyland. Actually, hold up. If they made a King Candy from Candyland Reinhardt, I would buy that. I don't even play Reinhardt.
Girl strength beer, though.
Oh, hear me out. Is Gavin here?
Yeah, Gavin's here.
Gavin, hear me out. See what you can do about this. I really want a rotisserie chicken roadhog skin. Just imagine that. That wouldn't that be... Dude, don't make that face. You know it would be amazing. He's just a giant rotisserie chicken. Dude, come on. You know. And when he says eat this, I don't know.
Okay. Well, guys, you heard it here first. Next year's Mythic, or next season's Mythic, is going to be a rotisserie chicken roadhog with garlic, herb, and
Honey
turmeric,
mustard.
different options. He'll have different skin tones and different spices throughout him, depending on his level of cook.
Each level you can add
Different glaze.
condiments.
You could have condiments or glaze, and then his ultimate is just, what would be his ultimate?
Stuffing.
Oh my days.
Come on, you know it's good.
Oh yeah. Thanksgiving roadhog would be a cool Mythic.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Come on, bro.
No, I see you two chatting. It's chicken jockey. No. Oh my gosh. All right.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for your input. I appreciate that. I value your input very
Thank
much.
you for your feedback. We will get back to you shortly.
Within 4 or 5 business years.
4 or 5 decades.
Loot box. Eat big. Okay, so this is the sauce here. Okay, Poke, can you? We're gonna do this again. Can you DM me, please? Yeah, see, Roadhog and Sigma is climbable. I mean, I would say you're gonna have some serious troubles with verticality, but at least Sigma deals with. They deal with each other's hero counters, just not with the map. All right. Hacks in a 6v6 mode. Match modifiers rotate every running. My friends are floating in low gravity. Health packs that charge your ultimate. You're a new strategy. Looking at pure chaos. Okay, cool. On control maps. Okay. You are wet. By the way, the bird was definitely drinking out of the thing. Yeah.
Is there more enough water there?
I don't know. I didn't check, but they were drinking out of it. So cool. Yeah, I mean, this is fun. This is probably what we were seeing earlier. Whenever I see this kind of stuff, I just think that Overwatch is like really obsessed with experimentation and doing new things. And then I think they do a really good job, not hiding, but experimenting with these things in like in these like arcade systems, which I think is really smart. And I'm a fan of. So yeah. Yeah, pickable passives, stuff like that. Yep. The April Fool's mode, things like that. Wait. Gavin told you in private that the plan to deal with the Dark Wizard had been pushed back to season... No, dude. It's not season 22, it's season 21. Can you imagine letting the Dark Wizard run free for the entirety of season 21? Listen, I understand that they have a lot on their plate, but, like, Gavin's misinformed. Yes, it's season 21. They're dealing with the Dark Wizard in season 21. It's probably Gavin missed the Slack update that I got or something. I don't know. But obviously, you guys are gonna have to suffer through the Dark Wizard for another 3 or 4 seasons. But yeah, we'll get it sorted. What's the Dark Wizard? If you don't know, I can't tell you. It's a long story. Let me put it that way. Yeah, I know more. That's what's happening sometimes. Yep. You saw it before, but I'm confused. Sarah Lee, look what you've done. Oh, it's just that we're just joking. We're just being dumb. That unless maybe there really is the Dark Wizard. Maybe the Dark Wizard was the friends we made along the way. Guys, do you have a Dark Wizard in your life? Who would be the Dark Wizard in your life?
You'd be a Dark Wizard in my life.
I am not your Dark Wizard. Not your Dark Wizard. Your mother? I also vote for Grandma's mother. Your hair? Yeah. Well, we have Connor in a little bit, so we're going to do some coaching with Connor in theory. So I was trying to think, like... So Connor, if you guys all know, Conor Mcleod, he's the VA for Hazard. And really cool dude. And he's been playing a lot of Overwatch recently. I saw he's been playing with Pot Noodle, the funny Twitter guy. And he's pretty new to Overwatch, and I think pretty new to first-person shooters in general. So I was thinking, how would you coach Overwatch to a brand new beginner? Yeah, he plays Hazard. And I've worked with a couple of brand new people, right? But even when I worked with like an 8 or a 9-year-old, and she was like silver gold, so she'd put some reps in. Hazard's brand new. I say Hazard, Connor. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the strategy is probably just to kind of spoon feed a system and then give him different ways to adjust the system. So let me give you guys an example. What I'm feeling like is the way to play Hazard is you find a corner, jump to an enemy, slash, place your wall, block. You get what I'm saying? And then evaluate. And then what we could do if we want to practice is we get that system down, right? And then I go, all right, who do we jump? So now I'm going to make you think about it more. Who do you jump, right? Or where do you place your block? Do you place the block behind them? Do you place it cut off and off angle? Do you place your block at all? Okay, and then, or give different focuses off of that system once he's got that system done. Where to block? Who to jump? Do you shoot? When do you block? Do you wait till you're low or block? You get what I'm saying? Got to find the best mail route to the enemy and then deliver the mail. Yeah, that's a very Stefano thing. So I think it's importantly is like, because especially with Hazard, there's just so many things to think about that I think like really boiling it down to a really basic system and then kind of allowing for some creativity from there. Wall might be too complicated. Maybe, yeah, you could be right. It might just be jump/wall, jump/wall. I don't know. That sometimes the driveway has a dog in it. How can we get past the dog? Yeah. Ralph says Hazard's poorly designed. We're going to debate that with you. Yeah, we might do that. Ralph really does not. Ralph is, I think, he doesn't like skill. He doesn't like kit bloat, I noticed. So, and I agree with him on that. But no, we haven't talked about bunny hopping. We're not going to talk about bunny hopping today. No way. Ralph is indeed the Grinch of Overwatch. But he's scared of you? I don't think Realth is scared of me. I think Realth is not scared of me. So yeah, we'll have to kind of think about like what our system's going to be. So if you guys don't know, we're going to do that. And then here's the sauce, guys. Here's the sauce. So we're going to do that for a little bit. We're going to do some hazard coaching. And then Connor's a based and red-pilled cinephile. So we're going to talk movies. We're going to go, I think, like top 10 movies, underrated movies, or things that maybe aren't as good. And then I think he's going to do top 10 animated movies. Then we're going to do like top 10 games and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about a lot of like cultural stuff. So he's concerned with reducing the design space of characters. Yeah, I understand that completely. I do think that is a fair and valid point. I think, but it's a nuanced look. It's a nuanced spot that you have to be careful with. I think if you overly focused on, oh, we can't have generalist characters, then I think you, not generalists, but like characters with multiple different things. So yeah. I said the word. I knew as soon as I said it, I shouldn't have said it. I don't know if I'll upload the culture section, but it will still be on YouTube Live. All things work out. So we'll see. Well, I think that's going to be the system. I think it's going to be jump / block. And then maybe block again. And then just kind of get that system going a little bit. That's a very... Because I don't think you... We'll explain a little bit of why. You know, like what tanking is, the fundamentals of tanking. But I think it's... You don't want to give too much knowledge there. You want to kind of give him something, food for thought, and then let him rep it out. And then when he gets a little bit more comfortable, we kind of go to the next step. Not jump, shoot, / No, we will, if he wants to be able to do the shot, yeah, sure. Your 10-minute wait time for new followers. Is that still in? I think we did that with, when did we do that? I think it was when we did the developer interview and a bunch of weirdos were being really toxic to the devs, I think. I think I just forgot to remove it, but maybe it's good to have it. I don't know. I don't know what rank he is, but I would say from what I've seen, it's probably bronze. He is very, very, very new. Yeah, Gavin doesn't really do anything with Stadium, so. Did you use conditioner like I asked? No. I specifically was like, you know what, should I use conditioner? I said, Pink Vanilla said I should use conditioner, so I'm not going to use conditioner because I don't like Pink Vanilla. And so then I didn't use conditioner. Yeah, Connor's console. You sub just for that? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Your life savings. Yeah, not even... I wouldn't even say hazard tech, to be honest. I would just say, like... hazard gameplay loop, if that makes sense. Just like, what does hazard do? How he tank? I'm actually gonna message Connor and tell him I'm done sooner than later. I am finished a bit sooner, so if you want to start earlier, let me know. And when we do the movie bit, I'd like to try and show his face cam, but I don't know. Yes, I'm glad you like the bird's nest. Yeah, we're right back to the bird's nest after Saturday. Oh, advance. It's fine, Deaton. I think, like, I don't want to go into too much detail with it, but between the whole SK and Skiesti criticisms where Skiesti had that kind of whatever report, nothing burger report thing that got completely amplified, and so everybody's witch hunting Skiesti, and then SK supports Skiesti, and everyone's witch hunting, just like trashing on SK. That really ticked me off a lot because I've known both those people a lot, and they did not deserve the just the ridicule and toxicity that they were just being lambasted, the personal crap that was showing out. I just hate that kind of stuff, you know. Even when people make mistakes and people aren't perfect, I just really, really don't like when I see that in the community. And I just have, it's unrealistic for me to expect completely opposite, but I just don't feel right about doing that. So, yeah. So whether it's, you know, Gaming for Hope or SK or Skiesti. I mean, even the initial, dude, when I did the whole Project Amari thing and the Saudi Arabia boycott of OW Esports, and I just was not going to, dude, I got so many ugly, nasty comments and death threats and crap, dude. I don't know. I'm meaningless, you know. I'm a drop in the pond, you know. But I just don't feel I don't feel right about certain things. So I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I also am not fully informed on everything and everybody's stance. And so but I just, if I feel a certain way about something, even if it's unpopular, I just, yeah. People just get so angry and are just seem so apt to get angry. It just seems like there's like it's such a desire to be upset and angry and want to be. It's like they're so quick, man. So nobody's perfect. I just hate to see some of the ugliness that I've been seeing and how it's approached as well. I'm not saying you can't criticize. I'm not saying that you can't hold people accountable, but you gotta know how to do it correctly. You gotta know where it's actually meaningful, and a lot of the virtue signaling is just, I just think it's just atrocious. And I want it to be known as well, if you guys ever do that kind of stuff, make sure that you reach out to the person as well. I think that's a good general rule, that you're not virtue signaling about virtue signaling. I've kind of had to think about that myself, you know? Yeah, the algorithm amplifies the drama too. Dude, I stood up for J3 with that whole thing too, and people witch hunted me for that too. It's like, I know that Jay did not respond all that well, and I told him so directly. I talked with him personally about it. But, dude, he wakes up with like 1 million freaking impressions, 20,000 whatever people, or likes, or 15, or not even 20,000, like 10,000 likes, whatever, people in the comments just trashing him. And I'm like, dude, like, oh, yeah, it's so dystopian. I don't want to go. I mean, we've talked about it already, but it's like whether it was Jay or SK or it just, I hate it, man. I just hate it. It was a while ago, so I don't know. He is a nice guy. I've spent a lot of time with Jay in person. He's a very considerate guy. And I told you guys that when I spent time with, the first time I ever met Jay in Toronto, there were games going on. That guy sat in line and took pictures and went out of the way to be kind and nice to people for hours at his own inconvenience. Like, he had the crazy stamina just to be nice and kind, and he's always done that with people, you know, kids, whatever. And like, I'm not saying he's perfect, right? But like, that, it's like, dude, I saw that side of him, you know, and I see what kind of, and I'm like, dude, like, come on, man, stop judging people off of that kind of the little moments. The same thing with the Skiesti thing, right? In SK, it's like Skiesti, like the report thing was like, all right, probably shouldn't, you know, do that. And then people were like just completely looking for any reason to hate on Skiesti, you know. And then SK defends Skiesti, and then SK gets completely smoked, and I just, it annoys me, you know. These people they're real people, you know. So don't assume the worst, man. Don't assume the worst. Who's the nicest pro? Ooh. Okay, nicest pro as in like, okay, this is gonna be really hard actually. Pro that I have like has like the best heart, not perfect. I know not perfect by any means. I have almost nothing negative to say about Landon. Dante's a good shout too, but I don't know Dante as well. I mean, I've seen Landon in all sorts of really nasty situations, and I know Landon had a little brief period of time where he was a little toxic way back in the day, but considering the group that he was around, it was relatively tame. And I've scrimmaged and coached and worked with Landon for a long time. I've seen him in a lot of really crappy situations. Do you guys want to know a story about Landon? I hope he didn't get mad at me for sharing this. He tried out for Ex Oblivione. I had retired from pro coaching at a period of time. And I was done. I was doing content, whatever, and I think I was when I was starting the scouting reports. Ex Oblivione reached out to me. This was like Slay, Backbone. You guys know Slay, Backbone. Who else was on that team? They were really good. They were winning EU contenders. They reached out to me. They're like, hey, we know you're retired. Can you please help us? We're like mental booming. We're at each other's throats. We don't know what to do. I think there was some disillusionment between the coaching staff and the players. And they reached out to me and was like, please, can you just, I know you can't be there for scrims. Can you just talk with us? Can you just help us? You know? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I just basically played like therapist for that team for a few weeks. And because there was a lot of tension in that team. Long story short, I won't get into the details, but there was some there was some drama between Slay and some of the other players, and they didn't want to play with Slay anymore, and ended up they wanted to trial other supports. And Landon was one of those trialists. I think, Majid was the other trialist. And I think both did relatively well. Obviously, they were really good. Landon was exclusively an A player trying out in EMEA. But long story short, Landon did okay, but didn't do great. I was definitely advocating for Landon. I believed in him a lot as a player. But the players weren't as sold on it. And the same thing happened with Majid. And they ended up going with somebody else anyway, long story short. But I know Landon was very disappointed in his performance. And he took it really personally. He was a very sensitive guy. Very, very sensitive guy. And I had a long conversation with him after the trial, even though I didn't know him as well. And he really opened up to me about a lot of stuff and was very honest about his frustrations and disappointments with himself, even to the point of like almost tears, basically. And honestly, dude, when you have somebody that's that competitively focused and that honest with themselves and then shows as much character as he had shown, dude, he won me over like that, bro. Like, freaking completely won me over. And when we went into London trials that like a year later, I was like, dude, Landon, especially after the whole Provide debacle, I was like, dude, this guy is legit. He is not great right now, but I know that he has that dog in him because he is such a hard worker, has such a good attitude. I have never heard Landon be toxic, never heard Landon flame his teammates. He only holds the highest standard for himself. He was very diligent in his work ethic and in learning and applying himself. Anything that he's accomplished since then, 100% earned. Guys, the definition of class in the training environment, the definition of somebody that has developed himself personally as well. He had some rough patches, but he worked through them. I respect him so much as a player and as a person. And it goes to show so much, not just about his abilities as a player, but honestly his character too. And I think I'm so glad that he has done well recently and has had, really just in the last, really since London, I think he's had his down moments, but he's largely been considered one of the better support players in the West. And I think he absolutely deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. Because you got to understand that after the Provide thing, he got thrown to the wolves, man. Like, he got thrown right into a team that was not expected to do well as essentially a BAP one trick that had gone off and played main support for a while. So he was like a Brig Lucio player. You guys don't know, Landon was basically like a 4.7k BAP one trick for a long time that then went main support. I actually have a collab with him years ago when he was a main support player. And so there were a lot of people that were like, who the frick is this Landon guy? This guy's like some random washed, weird NA support guy. We only trusted his potential. That's it. And you look at his Kiriko, you look at his Juno, you look at what he's been able to do with those characters. And even his Ana, which is not a strong point for him, but it's not as much of a weak point as it wants to. That he didn't have those talents. You know, he had to pick himself up by the bootstraps and teach himself and grind it. And there isn't a person I know that's better at that. Yeah, he's a good dude. I have a great deal of respect for Landon, and he is absolutely the definition of competitive professional class. EDR, yeah. He deserves everything, man. I have so much respect. So talk about the nicest pro player. I don't know about nice, but in terms of like the most character-filled person that I trust, it's gonna be Landon. Yeah, it's gonna be Landon. He's just a great teammate. He's a good teammate and a good player. Yeah, exactly. And honestly, like a lot of pro players are their problems, right? Like you grow up playing video games and you're just a degenerate, right? A lot of the Korean players are just horrible people. A lot of the American players, European people, major. Nobody's perfect, right? By any means. And I think even the lifestyle that the professional gamer lives is such that it lends itself to a lot of ugly stuff. So, it just Landon is a really nice exception to that rule, but it took a lot of work for him too. So credit to him. Not horrible people. That's too harsh. I'm saying that they're very underdeveloped. It's a lot of people tend to, put these people on pedestals just because they're celebrities, just like anything else in life, So, know, so yeah, shout out to Landon. Landon is a real one for sure. Well, everyone has their personality flaws, you know, a lot of them. Shortcomings, a lot of them engaged in a lot of toxicity, and you know, it's a rough background. So okay, I just messaged Connor. He will be here in like 10-ish minutes. Backbone? Oh, that's all right, Abby. You're good, mate. You gotta get your sleep, my friend. Oh, it's the Realth debate. So the Realth debate will be happening later after the Connor thing. I'm not going to spoil what we're going to talk about. I will say that there will be some topics which we probably disagree on, some topics that we probably agree on. I will maybe give a short, maybe season 9, maybe DPS passive, maybe cooldowns characters, maybe passivity, maybe Freya, maybe bans. I'm just giving you guys a list. Not rivals, no. Ban Freya. No. I would love to see if they could make Freya... If they... could Freya survive without a 2-tap? If she was stronger in other aspects. No, you good, Abby. What if she was 250 HP? What if she had a back to her original cooldown and updraft and dash? What if she could dash during her ultimate? Because I think the developers agree with you. And I think that you're probably right, but, you know. I don't know. I really don't know. You want me to pick the perk? I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll pick the perk. There you go. No, it's another one here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It would be like literally nerfing her explosion by like 5 or 10 or something like that. I don't know. Because the breakpoints are incredibly important. It would be an incredibly large nerf. I just like so many aspects of her design so much. It just hurts me that she is just so... can be so frustrating to play versus sometimes, you know, in her current balanced state. I don't think she's a huge major problem. I think she's just a fresh problem. We had the same thing with Hazard, where everyone thought Hazard was Satan for a while, and then everyone it's not really relevant as much anymore. But yeah, I don't know. Oh no, stop. Will we ever see Bald Spiral? I don't know. I've thought about that. Maybe we'll do like a charity run at some point. If we ever see Bald Spiral, it will be for charity. It will be for charity, and it's gonna have to be a lot for a good cause, a really good cause, like children or something.
I'll think about it.
We did a charity run a few years ago for a children's hospital, and that went really well. So maybe we'll do something like that again, and we'll do that. Yeah, the tricky part with Freya is that people needed time to figure her out. Like it took. She was not easy to pick up. But then as people have gotten better, you know, we might have had the skill to balance accordingly. For you to coach a hospitalized kid, dude, Varashi, I was just thinking about that. I wished, I asked, they weren't able to work it out, but dude, I would freak if there was like some kid up. Yeah, I really like working with kids. I did that for most of my life with work. Would they let you in the hospital? Thank you. I appreciate the support. Yeah, not with that hair. Why is the Yeti trying to get into the children's section? Is Amari in the room today? I don't think so. Where's she at? Oh no, she's dude. Mari's weird. She like, I think most cats are probably like this. They find their spot and they lock in that spot for like a month. You know, and then they change spots. So her spot now is all the way over there. Amari. Yeah, she's sound asleep. There's a mop at the front desk trying to coach Overwatch for children. Yeah. Ay. Pookie Bear? If you kill, the fire recovery was less. Pookie Bear and Spylu, don't you get hot with all the hair in my forehead? Not really. My dad used to say that. You get like a really short haircut during the summer. He's like, oh, that'll be cool down. I'm sure it's true. It's big. You know what it is? It's big bald. It's big bald. We talked about like big pharma, big kale. Big bald is telling you that you have to get your hair cut during the summer. It's a conspiracy. You guys heard about like the hat conspiracy? All your body heat goes through your head. All the hat companies, you sell hats. Big bald is trying to tell you guys that you all need to be bald, but you don't. It's a big conspiracy. Do I have woof equipped on hazard? I actually don't know if I do. I need to get my voice lines equipped. I have like way too many keybinds with my. I don't think I had. Yeah, see, there's not even equipped here. Mr. Clean, yeah, Mr. Clean is not a good dude. I'm not gonna say anything. I've been signed a couple of NDAs, but I'd say don't trust that guy. Please equip it. All right. But I don't even have the freaking. How do you equip a voice line? Oh my gosh, like my brain. I haven't, like, my brain has gone to the void. I actually don't know how to equip voice lines anymore. It's been like 84 years. How do you do it? How do I not know how to do that? Whoa. That's weird. That's like forgetting your name or something. Wait, hero gallery? Is it here? Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, that was weird. That was like just all of a sudden something like slipped into the void. I haven't done it in like 4 years. Can we still can the new support Aqua despite the name drop? What does that mean? Can? You want to can Aqua? Like fire him? Wait, okay, let's actually hear the voice lines here. I actually need to do a little bit of voice line study here. All right, what do we got here?
We could all use a little anarchy. Away you go. Failing means you're playing. You having a swatch at me? Hell mind you. I've that dog in me. I'm always on my worst behaviour. Pure dead brilliant. Rules are like bones. They're made to be broken. Can't think twice if you hardly think once. Oh, what a mess. I'll give you a slap.
Dude, I love this guy so much.
Woof, woof.
Oh my gosh. Give you some. Just love it. Come on, man. Can we still call the new support Aqua despite the name drop? Yeah, I guess so. Wasn't it like what Juno was Space Ranger, right? That's just great, man. I love that they leaned into this so much. What's the new name? Yeah, what's the new name?
I do not fight for myself.
Another classic.
I never have.
All right, Connor's here, boys. Oh wait, Connor's running behind. I don't know. We talked about it earlier, did you? But I'm on the fence. We'll have to wait and see. He's practicing his woof woofs in the mirror. Oh, Wu Yang. Wu Yang? That makes sense. I honestly didn't remember. I don't even know if I knew that or not. Matt voting, not Matt ban. Yeah. Somebody actually you in chat there, did you? Professional fin sitter? No, I'm not. I just don't have an opinion about Matt voting as much. Because I don't know. Wu Yang clan? Yeah. What type of support he is? We will see. Yeah, Aqua's going to be easier, I think. But Wu Yang, view social tab. I sometimes go through my social tab and I'm like, who are all these people? I'm like, obviously, that's an old coach. You guys know Anj. You guys know Chris. You guys know FD God. You guys know Crocs. You know KSAA. You know Poke. Poke was in chat earlier, I think. Rhino. Renee's an old player. Can I unfriend you? Ultraviolet, you guys know. Admiral, you know. Nuki, that's the Grand GM. There's Admiral Rapper, there's his old account. Casaurus, Faustus, that's an old one. Flats. CK, send you a friend request so I can deny it? Yeah. Nat Doke J is, I think, a manager. Poco. Temporal. You guys, only real ones remember Temporal. I don't remember who this is. It's probably a Korean trialist from years ago. J3. Chow, you guys probably know. Yeah, you guys remember Temporal. I might have to remove some of these people because I honestly don't remember some of them. If I don't remember you, probably shouldn't be friends with you. Is Liam here? Freaking hit Masters for the first time. Poggers on that one. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see what's the one that's been offline for the longest. Ooh, Alex, that's an old EU contenders. There's Australian contenders to Kraken. A10, you guys know A10. Askoff, you guys know the coach. Wow, 2 years. That's a friend of mine. Avala, Boger, 28 days. Brusen, you guys might remember the tank Brusen, the off tank. A year. Backbone, you guys know. Biggie Cheese. Black Dracon, that's one of my mods. That's one of his alt accounts. 1 year. Boostio, that's an old one. I think Boostio is doing freaking. Isn't he like another pro player now, like Valorant or something? I think he's pretty big. This is my first stream ever. You do not know me. He's in Valorant, yeah. Bronze Spilo, Brute, that's another tank. Cyrus, that's a coach. CKM, you guys know, Australian contenders. You'll see him in Hunter's Twitch chat occasionally. I used to coach him. Sarah Lee, Cronin Dota. Boy, that's a shout out. Some of you guys may remember that one. Wait, which one was 4 years? Wait, which one was 4 years? Wait, who was 4 years? Carter. Is that Carter, or is that a different Carter? I think Carter worked. Carter, dude, there's a weird thing with Carter. They used him to help. Like, he was onboarded as the assistant for Uprising Academy, and I didn't even know who he was. I wasn't even consulted. I was the head coach, and they just brought him on. And then, dude, that whole Uprising Academy was a train wreck, dude. I freaking hate that organization. I'm not gonna lie. Commander X. Crusade, that's a Dutch main support player way back in the day. Costa, you guys know. Don, you guys know Don? Maybe you guys remember old Don? Discord Kitty, wait, that sounds familiar. Dragon Eddie, maybe you guys know, maybe. Egoist Cat, shout out. How many of you guys know Vati Vidya, the Elden Ring lore dude? You mean to read from the Markimia? No. Okay. Did you guys know that Vati Vidya did Overwatch coaching and was really good? One of very few coaches that I think was insanely good and put insane work into it. All right, you guys ready for a Vati Vidya does Overwatch? Just listen. Just listen. Don't believe me, just listen.
So the first week of the Summer Showdown has been an interesting one. We've had upset matches, upset players, but probably most importantly the introduction of a new hero and a new meta comp. But don't stress if you don't understand the Queen comp too well just yet, because half the Overwatch League teams don't either. And that's also the reason I'm here, to guide us through the comps and playstyles of the Overwatch League so we can actually understand what we're watching on the broadcast. So let's hop into the first episode of my Overwatch League viewing guide.
Crazy, right? Crazy, right? Now here's the crazier part, all right? It's not Vati Vidya. It's Egoist Cat. Is that not the most uncanny voice combo you've ever heard in your life? If you've watched Vati Vidya, it sounds exactly the same. Even the way he pronounces certain words.
Introduction of a new hero and a new meta comp. But don't stress if you don't understand the Queen comp too well just yet, because half the Overwatch League teams don't either. And that's also the reason I'm here.
Even the way he intonates and pauses, the way it's not just the voice, it's the way he speaks, is insane. So anyway, long story short, this guy was a wizard. I love this guy to death. We've been keeping in touch for years. We used to consult when Overwatch 2 first dropped. I'd jump into voice channels a couple times and just debate concepts. It was really a lot of what Realth is nowadays is Egoist Cat was at the time, and he's off doing different stuff now. Egoist Cat is, but yeah, really, really, really smart guy. It is a crime that man was not in the Overwatch League. It is beyond. The guy was really, really good at what he did. It is just a crime that he was not in the Overwatch League. He was easily smarter than any strategy coach, and he picked up the Overwatch 2 meta, the off-angling, controlling of space, like instantly. It sucks. Yeah, so anyway, Fisher, Overwatch League coach. He's a Dark Wizard, yeah. We're still waiting on Connor, by the way. He's running just a little bit behind. Whoa, Fishcake, man. Fishcake is another one. Fishcake was a main support player, Lucio player for NA contenders for a long time. I honestly think if this guy maybe had better teams, maybe, I don't know what his personal, I don't really know him very well personally, but I trialed him, worked with him. He was really, really good mechanically. I think that given better teams, better system, maybe better motivation, I don't know anything about him personally. I think this guy had potential to be professional, like Overwatch League, easily. Realth. Realth. We're going to be debating Realth later, Steven. Yeah. So, Fishcake was crazy. Get Amazed. You guys know Get Amazed. Obviously, you guys know Get Quaked On. Grathan. Good old Grathan, the Irish phenomena back in sheer cold. I'm pretty sure he climbed a 4.7. Man, he hasn't played in ages. He did collegiate for a while. I need to reach out to him. I wonder what he's up to. Huss, Australian Contenders. Icy, that's another off-tank player. Hydron, you guys know. Ilka, coach. I'm 37. Who remembers I'm 37? Who remembers I'm 37? The Korean guy that spoke perfect English. The guy was from Canada, sorry. I coached I'm 37. Good old Jen, man. he was a good dude. He was a really funny guy. He was a good teammate. He got completely abused, not literally, in Uprising Academy. What a waste of a player he was. But we had a really good relationship, and I really enjoyed working with him. Yeah, I think Icy retired. So I think, I don't know what Jin's up to nowadays. I reached out to him about a year and a half ago. I spoke with him about some of the stuff he's working on. But yeah, he did the speed run. Yep. Let's check to see. There's Jerry. You guys remember Jerry? John, Overwatch. Krondop. Con, you guys remember Con? 2 years. I'll be the best. Haven't made a video in that Uprising Academy situation. I've talked a lot about it, a lot of it, but I don't really like digging up corpses, you know. CarQ. Cronus. That's another, I think, great Lucio Brigitte player that had a lot of potential and he's been a solid player for a long time. Looser. Sheer Cold. Kib. Landon. There's my guy. Lethal. Cloudy. Not Khan Academy. Molfig. Good old Molfig. Such a shame. What a waste. I think Poco was definitely a better fit for what we needed with the second season of London, but I really do think he was a really strong player, and I think that he deserved to be in the league again. I mean, it's hard. He's also an off-tank player, and so maybe, I don't know. It's tough. E United team? Oh, yeah, faintly. Natter and Lair, boy, I think it was a Russian hit scan. He was with Atlanta a long time ago. Noxious was a coach I worked with a long time. Good dude. From New Zealand, actually, Abby. He's from New Zealand. Paintbrush, you guys remember Paintbrush? Fat, good old Fat, love Fat. Refid, main support, good dude too. Realth, gross. Romanov, wow. That's a old NA Contenders player. Ronaldinho, manager, wow. Salt Shaker, only real ones remember Salt Shaker. I don't know what happened to Spree. Shade, that's a tank player, EU Contenders. Shadowburn, oh boy, wait, Shadowburn. Offline for 8 months, so he played recently then. Rinko, yep, Rinko, aka Mudkip. Shax, real one right there too. 6 feet, boy, that's another lower drop. Socks, that's a phase 2 player. He hasn't been along. You guys know Sushi. Sparker. Sword, that's a coach, old coach. Tayo, still around doing crap. Thor, another coach. Tri-Spear, that was like a support player. I think he might have been Dutch. I don't quite remember. Hunter, Gag. Wayfast. I think Wayfast is another really good hit scan player that got wasted. The Uprising Academy is just like the graveyard, man. So much potential wasted. You guys know Albert. Yeah, kids, you guys remember him. Really good flex DPS, projectile DPS player. Sparker is, I think, doing Rivals now. I'm not as familiar. That's another Albert off. Yeah. I think Sparker is doing Rivals, yeah. Okay. Connor is be here very soon. Yeah. Sparker's a really good dude too. Sparker's another really we were talking about Landon, very consummate professional. Sparker's really good too. Yep, of course. I've worked with several Korean players. Obviously trialed a lot of different Korean players. I worked with I'm37, who's I think half Canadian, half Korean, and then I worked with who is the support player with Uprising Academy? Shoot. What was his name? He did not speak a lick of English, so we had to do very, very slow VOD reviews because obviously, Aztec. Worked with Aztec for a while. And he was with Toronto, Vancouver, Poker Face. What is the Realth Debate going to be about? You'll have to wait and see. I'm not telling you anything. Let's hear some Korean. I actually took Korean lessons for a while. So I don't know if you guys remember Haney, who was the social media lead for the Washington Justice, and she was the one that Hunter was constantly hitting on. So she used to work for Sydney Drop Bears, which was the team that I coached. And so she and I got to be friends. And so she taught Korean. And so I used to take lessons from her because there's a period of time where I was thinking that would probably be pretty valuable until I realized that, okay, at that point in time. So I can remember very little of it. I used to be able to read it pretty well, but you bait us into thinking you spoke Korean in Pro VOD review? Yeah. 안녕하세요, yeah. Yeah. You can't wait and see him from the EU? Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I haven't coached Shu. Anything I know about Shu is just from Dante. What is a pro player with the most odd hobby? Ooh, I don't know. I did too much remote coaching to know people's like off of Overwatch stuff. You know, I knew their character, but I didn't know what they did in their free time. I know that there was a lot of complaints. I think it was either Admiral or Hottie who are just like just will watch like TikToks and stuff at like till like really late. Just stuff just plays in the background. So it might be Admiral that just like leaves their phone on or whatever. I don't remember. I might be spreading misinformation here, but I remember there were some stories at the London Spitfire team house having some issues with that. About like, please turn your phone off and go to sleep. Going through a pack of 6 a day. I'm assuming it's a joke. No, it's probably not a joke. A lot of Korean players smoke like chimneys. I'm not like seriously. They smoke a lot. In Boston, they smoked a lot. They had consistent smoke breaks. So someone like Proper and Sugar Free. I don't think the skill gap is massive. The problem is just that a lot of it is proportional. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't think 6 packs, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's probably a pack a day, yeah. Lip does hobby horsing. I don't know anything about Gushui. Does he put the accent on, or is it just like, you'll have to wait and see? Hello, Magister. Magic the Gathering YouTuber. I've played Magic the Gathering like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, hey, this is so silly. This is fun. I'm sure like competitively, it's like got like some integrity, but it is like the definition of like you get these like broken decks, and you just build for like a one shot. It's really fun though. I love the theming and the artistry and the variety of what you can do. It just makes it feel so much fun. But I haven't played enough to have a really clear opinion. Somebody pinged me on Twitter. It was one of the guys I forget. It's one of the Twitter guys. I'm gonna feel so guilty. It's some Twitter guy, the guy that was always defending Overwatch and attacking Marvel Rivals, and had like a bunch of viral tweets. Magic is about having a play group who agrees on how serious you're going to take it. Yeah. I did it a lot with Boy. You guys know Boy from my Discord, you know, my brother-in-law. And so he would kind of give me a deck and teach me the basics. And then I can pick up on kind of what the intention of the game is pretty quickly. And so we always had fun with it. Yeah. Well, anyway, oh boy, here we go. Remember your off angles? Yeah. Thank you guys for your patience. Connor's running just a little bit behind, but we should still be good to go. The accent is real. It's how he speaks as well. Yeah. Yes, you'd be surprised. I think there's like certain cultures have like very heavy accents. Like I think working with a lot of French people, very, very heavy accents. Scottish people, very, very heavy accents. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else, any other very heavy accents. 142. Wow. Best game ever made. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it definitely has a lot of personality, which I think is severely underrated. You can make every game super balanced, but it doesn't look or feel cool. I remember one guy I really respect, and he used to say that everybody is a role player quietly, right? We all lean towards heroes that either are aligned, like that we want to be like, or we enjoy being like, or that feel like you're doing something that would be fun, right? I'm not saying that's always true, but I think it's definitely underrated. People from the bio, yeah, Deep South, yep. Have you worked with any Spanish speakers but in English? Yeah, I mean, very frequently. In fact, one of the South American Brazilian students that I had, it was his first conversation ever in English, and he did pretty well. Like, obviously, it was definitely a challenge for him, but I've worked with a lot of people. They're for a couple of people actually, their first conversation in English. Yeah. I haven't worked with many actual people from Spain. I've worked with probably half a dozen, but not as many. Generally, most of my students from Europe are more Northern Europe, but that's not always true. How did you coach people who couldn't speak English? So I coached one person who couldn't speak English, a Korean student who had a translator. His girlfriend was his translator. And it's actually on YouTube. You can actually find it. I believe it was an Anna session posted several months ago, and it was really good. How many women have you coached? I don't even know how many. Hundreds? I definitely would say about 20% of my sessions are women. They're definitely in the minority, but a large number. No, 20, not 20. You remember watching that one? Yeah. You Must Fight. Yeah, okay. It was a good honest session. Yeah, I think it was on Oasis. I think it was on Oasis. Yeah. If it weren't for the rampant sexism, it would be at least 22. Yeah. Hello, Pot Noodle. How is my least favorite Overwatch news tuber? I didn't realize you were Scottish. I would have been so much more antagonizing to you. My bad. Yep. If you're a woman, please raise your hand. Good to see you, mate. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, Pot Noodle. There's only 20 women on Earth you haven't coached. Yeah, that's incredible, actually, really. I don't know what a Pot Noodle is, man. I have no freaking idea. First time playing Overwatch with Boger? Yeah.
My goodness, did you see her?
Yeah, she's way out.
I would make you lunch, but you haven't eaten.
Yeah, I've not been hungry today.
That's okay. I'll refill this for you.
Thank you very much. That's good to hear, Lena. I still think it happens too often. I remember one time I was doing streamer mode. You guys remember it was on stream about a month ago, and I had streamer mode on. And then somebody asked me if I was a girl when I was playing support, and then I said, "Why does it matter?" And then they proceeded to say, "You're definitely a girl because you suck." So it's still a major problem for sure. But I would agree that in general the culture around Overwatch is a lot more positive around that than in some of the other games I played. He counts as a coaching session, yeah. Really coach at the pro level, and how long you've been coaching hobbyist level players now? Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the things changed at all. I mean, I transitioned from hobbyist coaching into pro coaching, and then I went back to. In fact, I think a large percentage of pro coaches would benefit from spending more time, quote unquote, hobbyist coaching. You know, the ability to actually understand the game at a fundamental level and be able to communicate that instead of getting sucked into the meta. You know, because the how you actually play the game doesn't change from low ranks to high ranks. You were the Ishin Ashina Sojourn coaching video? Yeah, shout out to Stefano. I don't know if he's here, but he's the one that put the little mustache on there. That was really funny. We've had a bit of a backlog with Spilo too, but we've got it cranked up. You ever coached a guy who plays Mercy? Mm-hmm. Yeah, several. Yeah, I generally play with text and voice turned off. Isn't it in like 20 minutes Connor shows up? Well, Connor just had some stuff. He's running a little bit behind. He had a call. So he'll be here in a moment. So we'll be nice and patient. Because Connor's taking time out of his day. He's practicing those woofs in a mirror. If Connor says 20, it means 40. I mean, if you know him like that, just do it just a just chatting stream. Yeah. Why does it feel like Marvel Rivals top 1 players aren't much better than average player on Overwatch? It's pretty easy to tell the difference. I think that there's just a lot less mechanical expression with certain characters, depending on the character. I think the gameplay loop of the game allows for a little bit less flashy moments, which is ironic, but I think that's the case. And I also think that Rivals is still a newer game, and so the time for the top players to squeeze every bit of juice hasn't really come out yet, you know? So yes, I would never feel the need to use comms if you don't feel the need to, you know? You can do fine. Let's just let it rip. You ready? No more glass, please. Who's the best player asking you the question right now that you've ever coached? It's Sarah Lee. Yeah, Sarah Lee's a S tier. Don't plan. Okay, Connor's ready. We're calling. Aim God's coming back to Overwatch. Yo, what's up, mate? You are alive on Twitch. Can you hear me?
That sounds... Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can. How are you, mate?
Not bad at all. I'm just eating a bowl of cereal.
Yeah. What cereal? You got it? What is it?
Some like Oreo cereal.
That's the goat, man. I as a kid. Okay, so true story. So when I was like 7 years old, we go to my grandparents' house in Florida, right? And they would have this cereal. It was Buzz Lightyear cereal. And if you've ever had Lucky Charms, but you just like remove like some of the crappy like wheat stuff and just add more marshmallows. That's more of that was basically what it was. I'm pretty sure it's like tripled like the childhood obesity rate in Florida, but it was delicious. So it was absolutely worth it. But are you enjoying your Oreo cereal?
Yes, I could live on cereal.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd say cereals are my top 5 meals.
I really think cereal's underrated. I would agree with that. How much milk do you add though? Is it like just enough, or is it start to float?
If I'm on a diet, if I'm like being all right, if I'm trying to be like all healthy and stuff, then I'll use like almond milk.
Yeah.
And I use like a lot, like not enough that I don't have like loads at the end. But if I'm being indulgent, then I'm using loads.
So you're telling me if you're on a diet, you're using almond milk on the Oreo cereal, though, right?
Yeah. But then if I'm not, then I pour loads of milk so that I eat all the cereal, and then there's still enough milk to go back for a second bowl.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you can't waste it. That would be really stupid of you to waste that milk. You just need more cereal. That's all.
Then I need more milk to top up. But yeah.
So if you're eating cereal for dinner, what do you eat for breakfast?
This isn't dinner. This is a after gym snack.
Oh, you're at the gym. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Did it go well?
A bit, but I was also like very conscious of like the time, so I was getting a bit like, oh god, like.
Yeah, I'm sorry for rushing you. Didn't drop any dumbbells in your face or anything.
It wasn't you, man. Like just before, you know, it'd be like one of them. You're in plenty of time. Everything's going smoothly, and then was it my mum? I think my mum phoned me, then my sister phoned me, and I was like oh. So I was like standing outside the gym, like listening to them talk when all I wanted to be like was,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting a blood draw for like they're doing a test for me in a few weeks, and I'm literally working out this morning, and I'm walking to the barbell. I grab the barbell, and my phone rings to schedule the call. Like as I'm picking the weight, I'm like, oh yeah, I have to put it down and go all the way back, and it's like I'm like warm, I'm ready to go. It's the worst timing. So,
I feel. That way, I'm just getting my capture card up.
Yeah,
I actually moved on to Streamlabs today.
Nice.
Like instead of just OBS, but I'm also very like I don't think I want to experiment with my setup on this call.
That's fine.
And
Works for me.
And use Streamlabs for the very first time.
That works for me.
If it then starts going wrong, I'm gonna just be sitting the whole time going, why have I done this?
Yeah, never rock the boat, never do anything new.
Yeah.
I remember when I did I did an interview with like the devs one time with like Aaron Keller and whatever, like a year ago. And I was so nervous before the call because I had to make a couple of changes because I realized like as I'm about to go live, I hadn't like turned off my subscriber notification noise. So I'm going to do this professional interview and there's going to be this notification of me screaming in the background like over and over and over again. So I'm like panicking, trying to figure things out at the last second. It was the worst.
Well, honestly, God, like the very first time I joined someone else's stream, like I never streamed before, so I had no idea really like 20 minutes before I was going on anything to do with streaming.
Yeah.
And I was going like on with Boga.
Oh
like,
yeah, that's right.
And all of a sudden it was like, it was like we're meant to start at 7:30. It was like 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I just kept getting messages like, "Are you gonna come at any times?" And I was like,
I mean, Pot Noodle was in my Twitch chat. He was throwing you under the bus. He says when Connor says 20, he means 40. So I don't know if he's just a dirty, rotten liar or what, but I had your back. Don't worry.
No, like
I permanently banned him, I think.
I will admit and say I don't actually think he's wrong with that one.
Oh,
There's a lot of times I say to like him if I'm playing with him or something, I'll say I'll be on in 20 minutes, and then it's like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it happens.
But that's something I've just inherited from my mum. Like my mum
really?
would say me all the time. Okay, start streaming. There we go. Yeah, I'll say to my mum, like, my mum will say, I'll pick you up in 10 minutes, like, make your way downstairs. And I'll walk downstairs and I'll be standing outside for 25 minutes.
Did you ever do the thing when you were a kid where, like, you would go to a mate's house, like, to go hang out or whatever, and mom says it's time to go, and so you started to get in the car, and then you get in the car, and then the moms are just talking? And then they're talking. I one time I broke the system. I figured it out. What I did is I got out of the car and then started to play with my friends again. My mom was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I don't think we're leaving anymore." And that worked every time. I figured it out.
I would always I'd always do the one where like my mum would say, "Don't like that you would be hanging about with your friend. You would leave your friend's house and then you would ask if you could have a sleepover."
Yep.
But like my mum would always like shit. If I said, "Can I have a sleepover in front of my other friend?" Like she'd be so like mum would be like, "Don't ask in front in case I have to say no."
Yeah.
So I'd always be like, wait until we get in the car, and I'd be like, "Oh, can Coach Spilios stay overnight at our house?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, okay." And you'd run so excited back and chat with your friends. even though you've been speaking about it, you'd be like, run back in and be like,
"Yeah,
you can stay. You can stay. My mum said you can stay if you want."
Yeah. That's actually the strat. I've also realized that you can sometimes use your younger siblings too, because like the younger siblings are like way cuter. Maybe it was just an ugly kid, And so you'd be like, can you ask mom if we can do this, and then just use them as the Trojan horse. It's really, really smart. It worked way more.
So you're based in Florida?
Yeah, I grew up in Florida. I was the Florida man for like 13 years and then moved north to like northish Carolina, which is like halfway up, and then all the way up to the northeast in New Hampshire and then back down. But yeah, I've got the Florida blood. I have to suppress it sometimes. You just live in the I mean, I literally grew up in the woods, like in the woods, the middle of nowhere on a dirt road. It was great. It was awesome.
I've been to Florida once.
Yeah? What'd you think?
Honestly, the greatest place on earth. It gets,
No way! Okay, tell me why.
I feel like it gets a bad rep, right? Where everyone's like, oh, Florida, Florida. Like, I think it is the greatest place on earth.
All right.
Like,
why is that?
That place gave me the most happiest memories as a kid. Right? Do you want? I'll let you dig on a story, right?
Yeah.
When I went to Florida, it was about 2006.
Yeah.
I think I went to Florida. 2006.
Yeah.
I met Barack Obama.
You met Barack Obama in 2006 in Florida?
Yep.
Ah, where were you?
So
in
I
Florida,
was
do you remember?
staying at, my family went and stayed at this like really nice fancy resort, right? And we're not like some family that's loaded. We went. It was like for I think it was like my grand's 50th. Like my granddad, and my sister all have a birthday in August, so it was like a bunch of birthdays all together.
Yeah.
And we went to Florida. We stayed in this like really fancy hotel.
Yeah.
I met this kid at the pool that was like, oh, like it was one of these hotels, you know what I mean, that had like a shopping centre in it. The week after we were there, Miss World was getting put on.
Really? This must have been like what, Miami or Tampa or something like that, maybe Orlando?
I'm guessing like Tampa, Florida, I would presume. I honestly can't remember. I was like 10.
Yeah, I get you.
I mean, I still wish I was there for Miss World, but I went and I was playing with this, like, me and this little boy were just like playing in the pool, and he was like, do you want to come like upstairs? My mum's at a convention, like there's a buffet and stuff, and I was like, Mum, can I go? And she was like, yeah. We went into the elevator, we went all the way to like the top floor where it was like VIP, security guards, everything. And I went in and I was the only white boy because it was a convention I was a convention for all the black people in government. Mm-hmm. So it was like this big convention, and I was the only. I was Scottish as well, but I was only like a little white boy, and I had a dyed blonde mohawk, and everyone was just like kept coming up and being like, "Yo, that haircut is crazy. What do you call that?" And I was like, the corner. And then, like, obviously at the time, I didn't know who Barack Obama was or anything. Yeah. And then when he became president, like years later, I was like to my mum, like, I bet he was there. And we like Googled it and stuff, and like, yeah, he was.
That's crazy. Like that. So you had like the Hazard haircut basically before Hazard, essentially. Yeah.
So probably Barack Obama probably remembers me.
He probably does. Is that one white kid that came out of the elevator with a 6-foot mohawk?
Oh yeah. If I met him, I reckon. Are you that? Yeah. I bet he plays Overwatch and is like, you know, that Hazard guy. Do you know who he reminds me of? Remember that kid in 2006?
Yeah. Well, if you spoke as well, I mean, it's obviously a very memorable accent as well. So I'm sure that he probably remembers. It's not that long ago. So yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. That's crazy.
I just wanted, like, as soon as the Overwatch thing came out, I just wanted Barack Obama to quote tweet it being like, "That's my boy."
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. You ever notice when like people like complain about something, they like ping everybody? They always end up randomly pinging Barack Obama, President of the United States, or maybe we should just like do a random ping of Barack Obama and just see what happens. Run up the flagpole, see who salutes. Just see. Surely, maybe one day.
I done a play last year, and like one of the lead of the play was this David Oyelowo, who like played like Martin Luther King and Selma, and he kept saying to us all, like, so basically on the press night of it, oh my god, Oprah came. I was trying to remember Oprah's name there, Jesus. Oprah came to the press night, and then he kept saying to us, someone bigger than Oprah's going to come on the last night, or the last week. He was like, someone bigger than Oprah. And I just kept thinking, it's going to be Barack Obama.
Yeah, that was your moment.
It's going to be Barack Obama. And I was like, if it's Barack Obama, I'll get to tell Barack Obama my Barack Obama story. And I'll get to say, we've actually met.
Yeah, who was it?
He would say, "Congrats, man! I really loved your performance," and I'll be like, "Bro."
Wait,
like,
that was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna. That was a pretty good American accent there. I gotta give credit. It wasn't too bad. Who was it though? Who is bigger than Oprah though?
Right. So he said someone bigger than Oprah is going to come. It turned out to be that it was going to be the king, the king of the UK, which I wasn't really arsed about, and then he ended up not coming. But
well, that's tragic.
I wasn't really that arsed because, like, if the king comes, one, I don't really like the king, to be fair, but two, you've also got to do like a bunch of like bowing and like
that doesn't feel like that's par for the course for Scottish heritage.
It's the king of England. Like, to meet the king of England as someone Scottish just doesn't really seem cool.
It's there's too much anarchy in your blood.
When I was thinking about it, I was like, who's bigger than Oprah? And all I could think was Obama and Beyonce. That's all I was like. Obama, Beyonce. That's the only two. And I don't really I'm not like a massive Beyonce fan, but I was thinking that's got to be the level. Yeah, like, it's got to be Beyonce. But it was.
Maybe they meant literally bigger than like we're talking about like Dwayne Johnson or something like The Rock. You know, some WWE star. You know, you're a WWE guy, so you know.
That was one of the first things I asked him when I met him. I was like, David, have you ever met The Rock? And he was like, he just so like, he had such deadpan humor. He just like so deadpanly just went, why, is he your hero or something? And I was like, nah, just seems quite cool if you'd met.
Yeah, not a big fan. I know of him, like, you know.
Yeah, and also I was just like, how ripped is he? Is he like massive?
Like, one of the kids I know, my wife does jujitsu. She has a jujitsu class or whatever, and we've both done martial arts for years. MMA, jujitsu, Muay Thai, and one of the kids that we work with is like obsessed with the WWE. First time I met this kid ever, no joke. So his dad was training. And so he was just sitting around for like an hour. And I brought a book because I was like, I know there's going to be some downtime. I'm just going to read my book. No. This kid had, for the hour that I was there, had to show me every WWE move on a crash dummy that he knew. And he knew like 30, right? But that wasn't good enough. He had to have me do them. He had to teach me how to do them. So I wasn't allowed to just like watch and smile and nod and read my book. I had to actually suplex this training W, right? I had to do all of them.
That sounds amazing. That sounds like if I came to your gym and I seen a crash dummy, I would have been like, can I show you how to do a suplex?
That was basically all I did for an hour. I'm like, bro, my knees are hurting. This stuff is hard to repeat over and over again. This floor is not intended for WWE. Didn't matter. Gotta keep going. I was like, yay. Oh my gosh.
The same holiday that I went to Florida, basically my mum, my granddad, they all sat together, like my uncles and that.
Yeah.
But my mum's husband, they weren't married at the time, my mum and her partner, they weren't married. So he got, it almost seemed like a test, like for him of, can you deal with my kids? Because he got put sitting beside me and my sister for the whole flight.
Oh my gosh! And how long of a flight?
Well, from Scotland to Florida must be like 10 hours.
7 hours, 8 hours at least. Yeah, probably 10 hours.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, do you know what I mean? Like enough. Yeah. And obviously, my sister must be 6 or 7, and I'm like 9 or 10. And I had an MP3 player, and all it had on it was like 8 wrestling songs, 8 wrestling theme songs. And I was like, for 8 hours with these, and I kept asking him like, oh, do you want to listen with me? Like, do you want one of my headphones? And he was like, no. And I was like, please. Like for like 8 hours, like all he was getting was like, who's that jumping out the sky? R-E-Y Mysterio. And like you could just see like by the end of the flight, he must have been thinking in his head like, do I love this woman that much? Like, do I love her enough to deal with
crazy.
this?
That's crazy. Dude, kids are crazy, man. They will watch the same thing. I was the same way. I'd listen to the same song like 20 times in a row. I didn't care. You know, it's like, I love the song, so I'm just going to keep listening to it. I don't need anything new or fresh.
I'm still a bit like that.
Yeah.
Like the minute I heard Pink Pony Club, I was like, repeat. Repeat. My niece also showed me Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah.
And like I was like, "Oh." And honestly, like I just constantly was like, oh my god, I love Olivia Rodrigo now. So like, I feel like I'm still the kind of same, where I just become obsessed with like whoever it is.
Yeah.
Like if I hear a song I like, that's me.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it more fun because like you can like you're like emotionally invested. I bet that's why you like movies so much too, no?
Yeah, but do you have Letterboxd, or do you know what Letterboxd is?
I know what Letterboxd is, but I don't have it. No. Wait, hang on. My chat is asking, what's your favorite Olivia Rodrigo song? Do you have a favorite?
I quite like Vampire.
Okay.
Right.
I don't listen to enough Olivia Rodrigo to know, but I'm sure chat knows. So has to be Vampire. Sarah Lee says has to be Vampire. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I like Vampire. I like Deja Vu. I'm trying to see what ones are in my playlist. The three that are in my running playlist are Deja Vu, Traitor, and Vampire. Although I really like the one from the Hunger Games as well. What is that called? In fact, there's load. Is there load?
I don't know. It was the most recent Hunger Games, right? I didn't see that one.
Whatever one is in the new Hunger Games as well, I really like. So yeah.
Catch me now. Catch me now.
Catch me now, yeah. I fuck with Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter. Honestly, like my like Charlie XCX, like my like music taste.
All right. I used a Charlie XCX song in an Instagram reel recently. I think it was Girls. I kind of like this song, you know? I'm not going to feel guilty about it. So, all right. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Honestly, like, I feel as if, like, that's what... I feel as if, like, sometimes I'll have music taste that, like, seems like it would be my music taste, but other times I have music taste that you go, that's a teenage girl.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not gonna lie with you. I think nowadays, popular music is starting to get good again. Like I'm a snob when it comes to music taste, but I think like the popular artists right now actually are putting some creativity, like some effort into their stuff. So I think a lot of the popular artists, whether you like them or not, I think put a lot more effort into their stuff. So like, teenage girl taste is actually might be pretty good nowadays. Taylor Swift, I got some of my comments.
Taylor Swift, yeah, I like not as I really like.
Be very careful.
I really like when she had like Blank Space, like that sort of Taylor Swift era. I really liked, and I really liked old school Taylor Swift, like little country girl Taylor Swift. I really thought of that, and then I liked her. There's one that she has with like Bon Iver, like that album.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone will probably be like, it's this. That I'm like trying to remember the song that she had with Bon Iver.
Yeah. Exile, somebody's saying Exile. And everyone's praising your taste. So apparently your taste is exceptional. So you're doing good things.
Blank Space. Blank Space, like this is before I went to like drama school. So this is like pre being an actor with a bit of actually like clout, if you're not clout, but like credentials, like enough credentials behind you that you go, oh, okay, like he's serious, you know what I mean? Like before all of that kind of thing. Once done like a school tour, like almost like when you like do a performance and you go around schools and you like do like shows for kids, almost like something like that. We done the Wizard of Oz. And I was I was the Tin Man, but they'd done a like modern version of it, so we weren't singing the Wizard of Oz songs. So instead, I was singing Blank Space.
That's great. That's crazy. That's great.
Which was insane.
Maybe the new voice line is like, maybe there could be like a Hazard sings Charlie XCXX, you know, get a voice line just for that. Just go through the copyright hurdles, you know, just have a voice line.
Honestly, like would love it. I mean, I have the one that's like, I'm a fire starter, which obviously seems very Prodigy based. Which I think is like a weird thing of, it's really funny that it's kind of went from Hazard when it first came out was this kind of like anarchist, anti-establishment, punk rocker, but all this sort of vibe, and it almost feels as if everyone's just turned him into like, but I mean, probably me as well, it's turned him into this like massive goofball, baby girl coded.
Here's what it is. I think like you have to charge up the anarchy. Like, trust me, we speak from personal experience. You can't be angry all the time. You know, sometimes you just need to be coddled just a little bit, and so then you can charge up your anger meter. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it goes. You know, how are you gonna tear it down if you're not like lying down a little bit, getting spoiled just a wee bit? You know?
I just love that, like, though, like, something happens and everybody just completely turns it and changes it and goes, no, this is what it's going to be. This is what
you're getting retconned and shipped. It's your first. It just welcome to the club. That's how it goes.
It's just. I now wish we could go back in time and go and record some of the lines again and be like, no, let's make them a bit more. Let's make Hazard Brat Summer.
Yeah. You like the Life Weaver one where he goes, mwah. Can you imagine just Hazard just blowing a kiss like that? You know that voice line would get used constantly.
Yeah, it's what I liked is like which I've definitely said before in a bunch of things, but like it's the woof woof that gets used all the time wasn't actually a voice line, or as far as I'm aware, it wasn't a voice line. But we were reading I think it was the comic. And it just said like all the things that had to be recorded, and obviously I do all the like when it's the TV presenter, when it's the Omnic, it was like, oh, you just like, can you do a different voice because it's you reading it, and then it said dog noise, and I was just like, all right, fucking woof woof, and then it made it into game, and that's now my like favorite line.
Dude, I've literally had like 20 people in my chat like, can you please ask Conor to go woof 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 woof? So that makes it so much better. That's crazy.
Sometimes like I don't really mind, but my flatmate just walked in, and if he hadn't just walked in, then I think I'd have been like, yeah, I'll woof woof. But now I'm like, and I know and it's going to be like, were you just woofing on stream?
You got to live with that after stream ends. Have you ever seen the Bart Simpson thing where he's like, say the thing, Bart, from The Simpsons? That's like you with woof woof now. Like, that's just your thing. Like, your entire life, like, story is just going to be woof woof. So it could be worse.
I feel like there's going to be a time where I'm like 40 and like I'm going to be woof woofing for subs. Do you know what I mean?
No, you'll have leveled up. You'll have like you'll be like, maybe it'll be a cat, maybe it'll be a meow. So you'll have both woof woof and a meow. So you'll be double the life legacy. So
that doesn't sound any better. That sounds worse. That sounds like, oh, you're no longer known as just the woof woof guy. You're also known as the meow meow guy.
Oh, see, too late. You've done it. You should not have said that. That is a mistake. That's going to get clipped, and your career is either over or expanding beyond your wildest dreams. So you're screwed, mate. It's over.
I can't remember someone one of the very first times. It must have been like after Bulger's stream when we stayed on. Someone was like, oh, can you say? And there was like I can't even remember what it was. Like, but you know what it is in the comments, and you go, can you say? It was something like baby girl, like something like that.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like, as soon as you said it, it was like clip.
Yeah, yeah. People have been asking me for like the last second. Somebody, wait, let me scroll up here. Somebody says, can you please ask Conor to say, baby, do you like this beat? I made it so you dance with me. So like I said, you're in real danger with your flatmate here. People are actively going for you now.
Yeah, I mean, that's why usually I stream later. Usually I stream later at night when he's in his bed, so that like it's no like last night. Although last night we were streaming at like 3 a.m. I went on and played some. The voice actor of Venture, Valeria, was doing like a charity stream, and I went on and she was like, obviously it's like I don't even know what time it would have been for her, like 5 o'clock maybe, like
Yep.
8 o'clock at night. And she was like, oh, let's do each other's outlines. And I was like, yes, but also everyone in my house is sleeping. Like, I can't really
Wait,
be
I'm trying to
like,
think about that. Valeria's voice line is what is it? Something initiation.
initiation,
Yeah.
excavation, something
Chat,
like
what
that.
is it? What's the Venture voice line? Excavate. Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine that? Just doesn't hit different when you're whispering it. The same thing with
Yeah.
with yours. It's not quite the same.
I was like, someone saying stream is lagging.
Yeah, stream is a little laggy, but it's fine. I just like having your face up there, gives some context. It's not a problem.
I don't
If
know.
stream's lagging, we can do the coaching thing some other time because we can just do the movie stuff, whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, I don't know what it is. It sometimes comes in and out of, like, it'll say unstable, and then all of a sudden it just goes.
Yeah.
Excellent. I don't know what.
Yeah,
I mean, a few people.
Yeah, it sucks. I've had the same thing. Internet issues were like really bad for me last week. No idea why.
I have no idea, but it's like, I think this is the first time that it's like been like usually.
Oh, see, too late. You've done it. You should not
audio.
have said that. That is a mistake. That's gonna get clipped.
I'm just changing
And your
my audio
career is either over
over
or
to this
expanding beyond your
mic. That might make it a bit better. I mean, at worst, what I'll do is restart and jump back on with you. If
That's fine. Yeah.
If that's if it is lagging and I just need to
Sure.
reset the thing.
Whatever works for you.
I'll see exactly what happens. I'll leave it for the next like 5-10 minutes and see if it does do that. But I can tell my internet is going slow.
That's all right.
And I have no idea why. Do you know what? Actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to reset.
Yeah, works for me.
Restart it, and then I'll
Works for me.
jump back on, right?
Yeah, sounds
Right,
good. Chat with you in a few.
Back in
Take your time.
5 minutes.
Yeah, works for me. Chat with
Thank
in
you,
a minute.
bro.
Yeah, see you, mate.
No worries, man.
You should play quick play and keep chatting. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's gonna depend on whether he gets the internet stuff back on, but that's freaking hilarious, dude. Yeah, so I have. He's not streaming Facecam through Discord. He's just doing it through stream, so it's a little bit more complicated to do both, and I don't even know if he can do it through console. So I'm just pulling up his head as something to look at, you know. Your throat's dry? Sure. I'll drink some. At least it's not my internet this time. I'm glad to let Connor suffer at my expense. I don't have to deal with it. I don't give a frick, man. Dude, I have some teenage girl music tastes as well. I can't play it on stream, but there's some stuff that I enjoy. Pepper's always making fun of me for it. What are some songs that I like that may be considered stuff like that? I do like 360. Let's see. Not that many, you know, it's more of a dabble here and there. Untouched by the Veronicas, an old school classic. That's old though. Doesn't really count. Let's Eat Grandma is a pretty good band. Robin, Hang With Me. You guys know Robin? That's an older one too. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, any chaos is y'all's fault. Not, I take zero responsibility. You're gonna fix the lag? Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I don't like Taylor Swift very much. I haven't given her a good, fair try for the last few albums, but I've never been a Taylor Swift fan, even long time ago. Call Me Maybe is good. Yep. Call Me Maybe was like Pepper's theme song for me back when we were dating. Watch the Chappelle Tiny Desk. Yeah, sure. Unironically, though, I wasn't kidding. Like, I think like popular music is pretty good nowadays. A lot more thoughtful than it was for a long time. A lot more creative. Did she not see what happens in the music video? I don't remember what happens in the music video. I don't really. I can't play it because, you know, that's definitely me. Just without the shirt. That's funny. I forgot about that. That's funny. Any Queen enjoyers? Yeah, I mean, the Queen's got some good stuff too. It's more of a personal preference for me. If I don't enjoy Queen, I respect the crud out of Queen. You're contacting the global network agents. Thank you for that. I'm sorry to hear that, Blocko Raven. I've got pretty diverse music tastes in that front. ABBA, yeah. I mean, I really wish we could do a music stream sometime. That would be fun. That would be really fun. Freaking DMCA crap. Can PRR, think of the sub. How'd it go yesterday when you went Twitch only? We didn't stream yesterday, but I called Spectrum yesterday and they did a firmware update. I documented everything, so there were no, but yeah. What kind of music do I play? I don't know, weird stuff. I'd say it's like quasi alternative electric something or another, our recent, but also at the same time, we have written songs from like a lot of different genres. Pop stuff, electronic stuff, rock stuff, so I wouldn't really say that we have a specific genre. Okay, sorry, we just have to just really quick. Wait. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Sorry. Wait for the node from the guitar. So good. All right, that's all. I can't go further down the rabbit hole. It's just like that. Yeah. The VOD's getting nuked. Yeah, but at least at least it's contained. You get what I'm saying? I can always really mute it if I contain. Disastrous. Well, I could get my while Connor's resetting. That was invent animate. Give 1 second. I think we're out of tune here. Oh yeah, Connor's here already. Well, that was fun while it lasted. Are we back?
Yeah, it seems like it is. So fingers crossed. The only thing I was saying is I think it could be is because usually I stream at night when everybody's sleeping. So nobody
True.
else is using the internet, no one else is using anything, it's just
Probably,
me.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the only thing I can think. But also it could just be my laptop needed restarted because after streams I just shut my laptop down, leave everything running. That potentially it's just one of them that your laptop's just like, please let me restart.
Yeah, how does that work? Are you playing on console but streaming through a laptop? Like, I actually don't know how streaming through that works. Like, are you?
Yeah,
how
so it goes. What does it go? PlayStation and Elgato capture card and a laptop. I think
It's so
that's how it
complicated.
works.
I coach a lot of console students, and like having to like screen share through Discord while they're on. It's so freaking complicated. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I never even like. Do you know what it was? I mean, obviously, I've always been a PlayStation player, but like, I bought a PlayStation 5 so I could like play PlayStation, stream, and I never even thought, like, it never even crossed my mind, like, gaming laptop. Because like, I play Football Manager all the time. Football Manager's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
And it never even like crossed my mind of like, just go grab a gaming laptop. That'll make your life a million times easier.
Yeah, it is easier. My mates, when I coached with London, they used to do the Football Manager. How long has that game been out? Is that recent, or has that been out for a few years? Or because they were obsessed with it, they were playing it all the time.
It's like FIFA, where like a new one comes out every year.
Yeah. Is it like fantasy, or is it real? Is it married to real, like what's actually happening in real matches, or is it like contained?
No. It's like the only way I can describe it is like a full-time job, where it's like you're just doing spreadsheets. Like it's not really a game. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're essentially just managing a football team, but like all the stress.
But not getting paid, you know. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my god.
It's not. I enjoy it, but like if you're trying to explain it to someone else, it's a bit like.
No, I get it. I mean, you look at like, I remember when I was playing, I used to play like a lot of MMO stuff back like 8-9 years ago. And like, you know, you gotta grind, you gotta do your dailies, and you gotta farm, and you gotta do this and that, and you're like, you all of a sudden, for just like a brief moment, you become self-aware, and you're like, why am I doing this? And then the window closes, and you just resume, and you just go back and you keep doing it. There's something very satisfying about it, I'm sure.
Honestly, like I have it like even now, like I think that's kind of the game's kind of ruined my image of games, because like I buy the WWE game, and then they have like a general manager mode, and that's what I want to play. Like I always want to just be like, got to get down to managing. Like there's no part of me that's like, oh, I really want to play the game and like be the wrestlers and do this. I'm like, no, I want to manage. So
I mean, that's crazy. That's really funny. I can imagine like with that, with so many games, like how would that even work with a game like Overwatch? Oh no, I got to start my hero gallery for the 75th time and get my voice lines all sorted. How would that even work? Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Honestly, though, if they'd done it, I would play it.
I bet you would. I bet you would. Do you play Hazard because it's the thing that you have to do for content, or do you like actually really, really like Hazard? How does that work?
It's the only like hero I've really ever played. So like I don't really know. The only thing is I've went a couple of other people now and then. Like I went Soldier. A few times. Like, someone else has taken the tank role, and I've went, I'll go Soldier just because it's quite easy to pick up, and it reminds me almost of like a Call of Duty-esque.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like set.
Yeah, for sure.
Although last night when I was playing with Valeria, I was going Orisia. Is it Orisia? Is that how you pronounce it? Orisa. Yeah. And like honestly, I was cooking, and I was kind of like, maybe this is
Oh
my
no,
character.
Connor, no, please don't listen.
Like,
Don't take the easy path, okay? Like that goes down. Wide is the path. You get what I'm saying? Don't do that, okay? Please just come. Please.
Like the thing is, like I tried to play Reinhardt, and I was like, this is too hard. Like, this isn't. Like I wasn't even having fun. I was just, like playing Reinhardt. I was like, people are saying to me, Harissa is the dark side.
Yeah, she kind of is.
What is your like? What's the script with you? Like how? What? So have you always coached Overwatch, or did you used to play like back when?
Yeah. So I've always like coached. Like you talk about you being the manager. Like with everything in my life, I'm the coach. I coach everything. You know, like since I was a kid. You know, I was the oldest kid, big mouth. You know, so I picked up Overwatch, first person shooter. No idea what I was doing. Playing on like a laptop with barely 30 frames, horrible tech. You know, and I just liked playing because I thought the heroes were really cool. I thought it was a little cartoony, but I just thought it was fun. And so then I played and got better at aiming and figured out my sensitivity and stuff like that. And eventually I climbed from bronze to grandmaster over like a little over a year, but I was like playing a lot, like 2 or 3 hours every day. And I started off with Genji one trick, and then I was playing Junkrat, and then I was playing Reinhardt, like you were saying, and then they introduced, I don't know if you know Brigitte, you know, the support. Yeah. She was she was Satan when she was released. Like she was the evilest character ever. I quit tank because of her.
Well, see, when Hazard got dropped, then I went to DreamHack, like the World Championship series
Sweden,
last year.
Yeah.
When I done that, the voice actor of Brigitte was there, and she was kind of like, it doesn't matter anything about like how people react to Hazard being dropped. It's all right, and you'll never have a worse experience than me. I was like,
dude, she was getting harassed, I'm pretty sure, when it was released. It was really evil. People were terrible. It was so mean. She
was getting death.
Really? I didn't know it was that bad. Holy crap.
Getting death threats.
Death threats.
Like,
what the
which is insane to think. Like
that is awful.
The gameplay is absolutely nothing to do with her. You know what I mean? It's all developers, it's all Blizzard. But like people were giving her death threats.
That sucks. That sucks.
When she said that, I was kind of like, what have I got myself into?
Welcome to the club. Like, you may or may not get death threats. Yeah. Well, I hope it's not been bad for you. Like you were definitely strong for a period of time, but not as strong. And I think the perception's fairly positive, but I'm not sure.
I've been nerfed, haven't I? But recently I got a buff.
Yes.
That's the right
minor buff.
Terminology,
yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Nerf and buff. Yeah.
I think I've only had a few. I have a few strange interactions, but there's never been anything like too crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? It's when I go in my message requests. That's when I kind of see ones that I'm like, oh, okay. That's
on Twitter? On Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh, like never do that. Never do that. Yeah, never.
A lot of them are like really nice ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, sometimes it's people like asking like, oh, I want to be a voice actor. Like, do you have any advice? Like, sometimes it's just like questions. Someone said, is the coach a PC player? I'm guessing you're a PC player.
Yeah.
It's like it's a bunch of like, you know what I mean? Like there's loads. Some are just messages saying daddy. Like some are like, but today,
wait, sorry, what? I must miss those. I don't get those too often. I got called Hitler this morning, but beyond that, I don't really get very many message requests that call me daddy.
Today I got one that just said from an account that has no following and no followers, so it must be a burner account. But I got one just saying, low-key, probably the most unhinged DM you might ever receive, but would you ever consider selling spicy pics? I was like, Unfortunately not. Like, I would quite like to have a career as like an actor, so probably not.
It might have been
And
a Barack Obama. Do you ever think about that? I mean, it's a burner account. You never know.
I mean, if it's Obama
could
and
have
you see it, then
Yeah.
hit me back up because yeah, okay. But like, see, to be fair, like they weren't even strange about it. They just went, that's fair. I anticipated that being the answer, but I just thought I'd ask it anyway. Haha. Thanks for replying. I appreciate
That's very
that.
respectful, I guess.
It's like, you can't even be like annoyed about it. You can't even be like, wow. I'm just like, oh, have a lovely, you know what I mean?
Have a lovely day.
Yeah.
Hello, Connor. I would like to see your buttocks. Please let me know yes or no. No. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
I mean, with things like that, I just go, oh, you can't even really be annoyed. You just kind of go, oh yeah, fair enough. Thank you for being.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
on. Thank you for your being very respectful. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I guess. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
see,
Oy, oy, oy.
that's the other thing I noticed. Like when the character like dropped, like the character dropped, and then you got like some like hateful messages, like not messages, like comments on it.
Yeah.
Then you got some like really nice comments. Then you had like some like freaky comments. Just like, I remember when I went to DreamHack, it never ended up getting used, but like I think it was Overwatch Cavalry. The guy that runs that, he also works for that Faceit, and he was like, "Is there any chance like you could read out some of the tweets like just for some content?" And I was like, "Yeah, if you want." And we're just like going through them and just reading them, and we're like, some of these are incredible. Like some like, and it's the thing is like, because they're complimentary, I don't even care. Like I was just kind of like, oh yeah, that's really nice. Like I'm like, I would rather people were leaving really like unhinged comments, but they're positive, rather than like
that's true.
hate.
That's
like
true.
I'd rather have like be reading the comments and be like people comment like daddy or like he can choke me, like all of these ones. Like people kept being like I would bottom him, you know what I mean, like things like that. I would rather get ones like that than death threats.
That's very fair. I think that seems like a very reasonable opinion to have. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I like for me, I just go, that's fine. They're nicer ones to receive.
Yeah. It could be so much worse, I imagine. Yeah.
So we went on a big like venture there. So like you were playing Brig. No, you almost quit playing tank because of Brig. Sorry, continue.
No, that was quite the segue. No, I quit playing tank because of Brig, and I became on as Zenyatta player, and then hit Grandmaster, and then got into coaching teams, and I'd been coaching like one-on-one for years, and so then I went from there into the Contenders, which was like one step below Overwatch League, and then I coached in the Overwatch League for 2 seasons, and then I kind of went back to the private coaching afterwards. So I've just kind of been all over private coaching, team coaching, whatever, and do a lot of analysis and stuff. So I mean, I still play the game occasionally. I still, like, when a new character drops, like yourself, I pick up the character, grind them to learn the new character to make sure that I can actually coach the micro more. But most of the time, just coaching, because it takes a lot of the content stuff, and coaching takes a lot of time, as you can imagine. So I would say I'm an okay player. But funny, Hazard's probably, he's definitely my favorite tank. He's probably my top 3 favorite characters to play nowadays. So I really enjoy playing Hazard. Yeah.
I remember when someone left like a comment about his gameplay or like him, whatever it was, and I remember you releasing like a video, like a clapback of like, let me tell you this isn't true. And I remember when I seen that, I was like, that's my guy.
Hey, I mean, I will not lie. Your performance definitely enhances my experience a great deal. My heritage is very Scottish. I have a very Scottish name, so I have like the most Scottish name ever. A lot of Southern America is like Jacob Scott Clifton, so it's like the most British / Scottish name ever. But my grandfather, they lived in the UK for a long time. And like he helped with the Royal Air Force, and so it's not specifically Scotland, but my parents just visited last year, and I've never been, but if I ever go at one point, I'm gonna have to visit. So I love your performance.
Thank you so much. You should do like a try and go to like a DreamHack and then just do like a little European tour.
Yeah, I probably will at some point. I won't be able to make DreamHack this year likely, but at some point I'll have to do it. So that would be
It's
really fun.
weird. This year they're doing it, but it's like the same weekend as Thanksgiving.
Mm.
I want to say, which seems
Yeah.
a really strange, especially because so much of the target audience and Blizzard and everything are like an American company. It's
Yeah.
strange to do it the same weekend as
Yeah.
such a like it'd be like I guess for America it's almost like being like, yeah, we're gonna run DreamHack over Christmas.
Yeah,
Which
basically. Yeah, it's tough. I can imagine it's just due to the facilities availability, you know, whether or not it's going to be available.
Yeah.
But if I don't go, then you're going to have to go to BlizzCon next year, surely.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping, like, and I've said it a few times, I'm hoping that they'll take. If they don't invite everyone, I'm hoping they're going to invite the people that are vocal and like take time to like, do things with the community, whether it's streaming, whether it's like active on Twitter, whether it's all of these things. I'm hoping that it's that, because I think you see, and I mean, everybody's different, do you know what I mean? Some people have no interest, some people doing the voice job, it's just a job and then it's done. It completely depends. And I think my experience was different because I got to voice it, then got to go to DreamHack for it dropping. So I got instantly, like, it wasn't just like I got to see it live and I got to watch it on socials when it came out and then it was done. Like I actually got to like, go and like spend time with the Overwatch Championship Series, get to meet a bunch of the community. So I understand my experience is completely different. So I said this entire streaming thing is just to get an invite to BlizzCon. You caught me.
It's not a bad strategy, you know.
I actually hate it all. I'm just doing it to get to America. I'm just getting one step closer to get back in with Obama.
That's right. You need to do Obama at BlizzCon.
So like I think my experience was massively different from like a lot of other people's, in the way of I was instantly round and thrown into the kind of community aspect of it that it's hard not to kind of like fall in love with what it is.
Mm.
Also, like, yeah, some people are like, do you know what I mean? Like, they do it, it's done, it's just a job.
Yeah.
There's no interaction, which is fine. I don't think, you know what I mean? I don't think, like, you have to be, like, you don't have to do a job and then be at the beck and call of, like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Like, I'll tweet about Overwatch, I'll play Overwatch, you know what I mean? And same with, like, all franchises, whether it be video game or a Star Wars show or a Lord of the Rings, all of these things. I don't have to be. But I think it's nice, and I think like I hope that the people that do that and like spend a lot of time interacting with their audience from it, I hope those are the people that kind of get to go and experience the things like DreamHack and experience the things like BlizzCon. Like Valeria is very obvious.
Obviously.
Matilda, Catalina, which is Sombra.
Valeria was at the summit we just did in California. She was there for a few days, so I got to take some pictures and super friendly. In fact, Valeria and my wife chatted it up a ton about like lifting and dieting and working out and stuff like that, of course. So it was really funny. I think what's up?
That's all I ever see her page.